Hey guys, Dr. Wolk here with JetSet Meds. Today I'd like to talk to you about one of our add-on medications, that is the EpiPen. Our standard kit does not include an EpiPen, but it can be added on at an additional cost. It is a very expensive medication, which is part of the reason why we included it as an add-on. Otherwise, it would be prohibitively expensive for some folks. Epinephrine is it's a life-saving medication when used correctly. It is extremely safe when used correctly. I always recommend to folks that if they're going to have an EpiPen, and our kit comes with 2 EpiPens, but if you're going to, one for home and maybe one to travel with, one to keep in the car. If you have had life-threatening allergic reactions, you know what I'm talking about. Epinephrine is a life-saving medicine. The faster it's given, the more likely it is to save your life, right? It is a very, very time-sensitive medication. If a person, let's say, has anaphylactic reaction to an almond, once they eat that almond, every minute that goes by that they don't get the epinephrine, the likelihood of them succumbing to that allergic reaction increases. So that's why we try to keep them around. It's almost like an AED. Keep them everywhere. Or, if you have that potential for that kind of a reaction, they should be in your car, your home, etc. So I always recommend that folks watch a good YouTube video on how to use the pen. It's quite easy. One of the most important things is that you want to make sure that you don't stick yourself in the thumb. And so as you hold the pen, you should hold it like this with a closed fist. Do not put your thumb on top. Now, theoretically, the needle will come out the bottom, but some people do get confused. They put their thumb on top, and when they go to administer the medication, the needle just goes into their thumb, and then they get epinephrine released into their thumb. That's not good. Epinephrine needs to go into a thigh or into the bicep. It needs to go into a large muscle, not a small body part like a finger. If that does happen, it is a medical emergency and you should seek medical attention immediately, even though that's what you're going to do anyhow because you're requiring an EpiPen at that moment. It is otherwise insanely safe, okay? People think epinephrine is like a heavy-duty medication, and if they have a heart condition or heart disease, they shouldn't take it. I try to discourage that line of thinking, right? If you're having a life-threatening allergic reaction, just take the EpiPen and then let us deal with it. Let the healthcare professionals deal with the aftermath, which, by the way, tends to be um, uh, nothing terrible, right? I've treated plenty of people who have used epinephrine and EpiPens, and I've rarely, if ever, seen a complication of the EpiPen. So when in doubt, use the pen. Um, if you use both of your pens, you can always come back to us for refills. But EpiPen is a life-saving medication, and especially if you're overseas and especially if you're far from home, if you know you have an allergic reaction and you know there's a predisposition for that allergic reaction to progress to anaphylaxis, don't wait. Use the EpiPen and then call 911 immediately. So again, certainly one of those things where it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But again, EpiPen, we do recommend it. It is an add-on at an additional cost, but we highly recommend it, especially if you know you're one of those people that has a predisposition for allergies. So thanks for joining us and travel well.